Hello, and we're live. Hello, my name is Cindy, and welcome to my channel. And I'm just coming on here today to just do some chit chat and to share some of my knitting project. I'm planning to show some beginner knitting videos, and I've been thinking about doing it for a while now. And so I thought I might have some friends that might be interested in either learning how to knit or knit with me. And it's just something I've been doing recently, and I really enjoy it. The pattern that I'm doing right now is made with it's cotton yarn. This is called Sugar and Cream. So if you would like to do a dishcloth with me, and maybe you already know how to knit, or maybe you haven't knit in a while, maybe you're really new, and this is called Grandma's Favorite. So I made this with my students at the school, and it's really awesome. You can, oh, hey, Evelyn. You can get some of this yarn. It's cotton though. You don't want to use any type of like synthetic fibers. You want to go ahead and use cotton. Like I said, this is called Sugar and Cream. There's a couple different brands that you can get in Walmart and any craft store, that kind of thing. And I made this dishcloth last week because I taught my students how to make these, and my boy student actually made one, and they're really nice. And what you do is you start at the corner here, and you will start with 4 stitches, and then you increase all the way to the middle, and then you decrease. So you learn a lot just from making this one dishcloth. And this is really great for, at home, you're doing your dishes. You can use this for a couple days and then just stick it in the laundry, wash it. It's very durable, lasts a long time. You can also use it for a coaster, to put your cups on. I used to give these to my grandmother. She couldn't use them for anything. So she would just use them as a decoration, like put it on her shelf and just put something on top of it. Now, there are many different types of dishcloth patterns. When I first started making dishcloths, you should learn to knit, Evelyn. I know how to do both, actually. Yeah. Oh, really, Evelyn? Awesome. It's just something about knitting and crocheting. It's kind of a funny thing. Like, I was on a knitting group on Facebook at one point, and you were not allowed to mention crochet. It was like taboo. And then it's funny because crocheters like to crochet and knitters like to knit, but knitters are a little snarky about knitting. Like, if they're a knitter, they're a knitter. But I actually like both. I've done both. I have also made different types of things like this. I've crocheted them as well. But I would like to do some videos on how to knit. And I figured while I'm knitting, I'll also talk about maybe current events or whatever. But what you want to do is you want to start with your cotton yarn, and you want to start with a slip stitch. So you're going to pull this out, and you're going to get your needles. Now, there are different types of needles. These are size 4. Usually a size 5 is good for a dishcloth. And you're going to start out, and you're going to make a slip knot, and you're just going to kind of like put it together, cross it, and then you're going to put this piece through the middle of that loop, and that's your slip knot. Now, I have taught home ec in schools. I also taught all of my kids. I have 13 children, but my older kids, I did a lot of knitting. I did a lot of crafts with them. We did a lot of knitting. We would take these, like, say we went on a trip, and we would they didn't necessarily love to knit like me, but we would start it, and then I would kind of pass it around the van. Yeah, Evelyn, I could see your girls doing this, and even the boys. So what you can do is you can do it like this, and you have your slip knot. And then the easiest way to cast on, your next step is called casting on. So you have a stitch like this, and you're going to put your needle through the middle and around the back. Then you're going to take your longer string, not the end, but your one that's attached to your ball, going to go around the back of the needle, and then you're going to come through the loop. And to cast on, you're going to twist it and put it right back on the needle. So you're going to put it in, around the back, through the hole, and then you're going to put it right back on the needle. Now, technically, knitting and crocheting knitting is really like crocheting. It's like a series of crocheting. It's really, I just find it fascinating what you can do with a string. And so what you're going to do is you're going to cast on. You're going to have 4 stitches. You're going to knit 1 row. So you're going to go in around the back. You're going to bring your loop around this way and go through the hole. And this time you're going to cast it off. So you're going to pull it in around the back, and you're going to knit to the end of the row. And that is 1 row of 4. So that's going to be the start of your corner. You're going to do a start of a corner here. And the next row, you're going to knit 2. So you're going to pull it around. You're going to do what you just did. You're going to knit 1, 2. And then you are going to yarn over, which is like you're going to knit, except you don't go through the other hole. You just take your string, yarn over, and then you keep knitting to the end of the row. So when you're knitting, your yarn is going to be to the back. Now, if you go online and you want to learn how to knit, there are different types of knitting. There is, like, I'm a thrower. They call this throwing because I hold it in this hand and I go around the back like this. And I'm making a dishcloth. So I'm going to knit 2, yarn over, knit to the end of the row. Okay, and you'll see this takes a little while. Like, just, because I have a busy life, I don't just whip out one of those dishcloths in an afternoon. It's something that I will go back to regularly, because I am kind of some of my friends online, you are not with me every day, but you've probably figured out that I don't sit still very often. So I am always doing something. And so I will just put this in the back in my purse or whatever. This is something really cool to have in the back in your purse, and you just have it there and you pull it out. Like, say you get to church a few minutes early and you're talking, you can just pull this out. And like I said, when we were on trips, we would pass it around the van. And then say we're going to a friend's house, we might have a couple dishcloths to give to the hostess of the home that we're visiting. So, and they love these. People love these. My second daughter, she used to make these. We homeschooled, and she used to make these, and she would have a stack ready to go at all times. And people would say, "Oh, that is so cool. I love what are you making?" And she would explain it, and they'd be like, "Oh, I love those types of dishcloths. Can you make me one?" And she'd be like, "Oh, actually, I have some right here." And she would charge like $3 for them. So she always had spending money, as a young kid, and she wasn't, didn't have a job. Oh my goodness, yeah. And I'm having a makeup party right now, and she's the one that does the makeup parties. She was always resourceful. Like, she was always doing something. She was very crafty. I guess she's a lot like me, except that uh, she's a little more high class. So anyway, so you just keep going and see how it's already gotten bigger, and you just keep knitting and until it's a triangle, and when you have about 42 stitches or so, and then you will start decreasing. And knitting is a really awesome thing. Now, I was thinking I would start this and I would continue knitting and talk about some things that we have going on in our world right now. And so Evelyn, Kelly, I see 3 people watching. I don't know who the third person is. I'm assuming it's one of my friends, but you know, one of the things that's going on in the world today is the Chinese virus right now going on, the coronavirus, and you don't have the patience for it, Kelly. I don't have patience. That's why I do it. It gives me something to do while I'm being impatient. Oh, it's Kelly from 2 Accounts. Oh, you got me all excited. But so people in China are having a hard time, and I was just thinking, you know, it'd be good if they knew how to knit. I don't think they really. I have seen in the lessons that we do that they do mention knitting. You know, that grandparents knitting, I believe, is like a universal skill. When I've been online and I check out patterns, the most intricate and amazing patterns are usually from like Scandinavia. And I'm my theory is it's because it's cold there, you know, and they just, you know, knit because it's so cold. But when I've looked at patterns and things that are so, they do have there are a lot of YouTube, yeah, level 4 hobbies unit. There are a lot of there are a lot of YouTube videos of knitters. There are people knitting on YouTube. I figured I'm going to tap into a new audience. I'm going to start knitting. Um, and it's amazing what these people knit. Like I saw a video of a girl last night and she had the most amazing, it was like a double color sweater and it was a really fine looking yarn. Several of my girl students said their grandma has taught them to knit. Oh, that's awesome. So this girl made this beautiful sweater, and my thing is whenever I make something, not whenever, but a lot of times when I make stuff, I don't really like it because I think when you're an artist or a crafter, sometimes you look at the mistakes more than the finished product. Like someone who's never seen it before, they look at the finished product and they think, wow, that is amazing. And then when you're the person who made it, you see the mistakes and it doesn't seem as amazing. I don't know. But that was happened to me. I made a really nice sweater. I made a really nice green sweater out of thicker yarn. I loved it, but it was really hot. Like even on a cold day, it was really warm. So it was like too hot to wear anywhere. And then I did make a really pretty purple one. Maybe I'll show in one of my videos that I made, and it was amazing. But it was, the thing about knitting is that you learn a lot of different, you learn the skill itself, but there are a lot of things you can learn from just knitting. And that's the thing that I think is so cool about it. Like when I made my purple sweater, it was a lace pattern, and I kept messing up, and I kept taking it out because I wanted it to look right. I kept miscounting the stitches, and I had never made a lace sweater before. And so I had at the time I was homeschooling, so I would get together with my friends and I'd be like, you know, I had to take it out again. I must have taken it out like 3 or 4 times. And then I was with one of my other friends and she's like, "Oh, that's a lace pattern?" you need to use stitch markers. I'm like, mind blown. Stitch markers. I'd seen stitch markers, but I didn't know what they were used for. I think I have some up here. So stitch markers are like, you put these in, like if you're doing a lace pattern, you put the stitch markers in different places. This kind of opens and closes. And then it helps you to keep count. Because I had like, 200 stitches on there. Giselle, hey! Yeah, I'm at school. My kids are, they're at sports practice till 5:30, and it's 10 till 5. So I'm coming on here and I'm showing knitting. So I used the stitch markers, and I got my sweater knitted, and it really, that is really pretty. I do love that one. It's called the February Ladies Sweater. And I got the pattern on a website. It's called Ravelry.com. And you have to kind of you have to get an account, just like a Facebook type thing. And you can get in there, and it's really cool. I call it the Facebook for knitters. You can do knitting or crocheting on there, but you have your own account, and I have pictures of my stuff on the account. So I don't know if I can get to it very quickly. But it's really cool because you can put up, if you make something, you can put it up. You can also see what other people put on there. You can, okay, it's not going to let me in. I can't remember what my password is. So it's really annoying because I can never remember. I don't go on it enough to remember what my password is. But you get your own little name, and then you upload your projects. And like, say you're making the February Lady Sweater, you can click on that pattern, and then you can see what other people have made that same exact sweater, different colors, different styles, and it's really awesome. I'm going to see if this password works. No. So I'll show you guys in another video. So that's really cool. If you do not know anything about that one, Evelyn, you might want to check that out, because that is really awesome. You can like take pictures of your projects, put them on there. And like, if you get into Ravelry, you can get my name, and when I figure it out, and you can add me as a friend on Ravelry, and then you can see all of my projects that I have made. And I do have some crocheted ones. I have a really pretty crocheted blanket that I made for my daughter, who is doing the makeup party when she got married. It's like a black and white, it's like a really huge snowflake type thing. And it's really cool. And I knew what I wanted, something like original, and they're kind of particular, and I thought it might be something they would like, because I don't know, they have everything, so it's hard to give them something they might like. So this is called a dishcloth, Giselle. So I don't know, are you a knitter? So I think everybody should be everybody should be a knitter. Like, it should be just normal for everybody to want to knit. I mean, I haven't knit in a while, though. I haven't knit in like years, because I have been consumed with VIPKID. So back to the coronavirus, I was thinking, if they had knitting, this would be a great thing for them to do. But knitting right now in America is not, it's like optional. Years ago, it used to be, if you wanted socks, you made them yourself. If you wanted gloves, you made them yourself. I mean, I've seen pictures and documentaries. I'm an illustrator. Oh, neat. My grandma used to knit Afghans. Awesome. Yeah. So, yeah, they're stuck in the house, but they also didn't have the resources that they didn't have Walmart. And what they would do is they would get the little kids to make stuff, like the moms and dads are busy, but the little kids, they were commissioned to make, I mean, back way back in World War II days, they had to like knit their underwear. I mean, if you wanted your soldier to have clothing, you had to make it and send it with them. And so, but nowadays it's funny because it's kind of like pet lovers. You meet people that just love pets and they just can't, it's just part of them. They love dogs or they love cats. They're just like cat people, and it's just part of them. And I think knitting is kind of that way too. It's like some people just take to it. I do have a student right now that he is knitting a blanket. And I got him a thicker yarn. It's underneath here. Um, this is a thicker yarn. He's making this gray, and he's going to make, okay, we bought 20 rolls, and he's got one square out of one whole skein. He's almost, no, he's done. He's done with one of the squares. So we're not sure if we're going to have to buy more, but this was a really good price online. This was from blueprint.com. Hey, made in Turkey. Cool. Super bulky. This is acrylic. So that is something that would be good for him to use. He wants to just put it on his bed. And so I think that's really an awesome thing. And I got bigger needles and bigger yarn, so it'll go faster. And so that's what he's making. And then my other student is making mittens. So I made this mitten. I'm almost done. I just have to do the thumb. And this isn't really the best mitten yarn. This is regular, this is the regular like Red Heart yarn that you might get that's pretty cheap. And it's not the warmest for winter, but it's good for like, say on a Sunday, you're going to church and you want to stick some mittens on. And I'm just kind of doing this because I already had this yarn and I'm practicing and showing my student how to make it. So I made this last week. So this is a mitten. And then I have to do the thumb. So there are many different types of yarn, many different things that you can make. But the dishcloth is what I like to start with because it's practical and you can kind of give an inspiration to the kid. Like you could give an inspiration to the kid and say, we'll make this dishcloth and you can give it to your mother and she'll really love it. And so, and sometimes when I have kids that I'm teaching how to make stuff, I will, like when they're not looking, I'll do a couple rows so it helps them to get it done faster. That's my little secret. So, but this is a dishcloth. This is Grandma's favorite dishcloth. And I just think knitting has a little bit of a calming effect. It helps you feel like you're getting something done. Hello, wow, Reese M. from England. Wow, I am honored. I feel a bit Benson. What does that mean? Awesome. My name is Cindy and I work for VIPKID and I'm also teaching knitting today. Do you know about VIPKID? VIPKID is an online teacher program and we teach children in China English. I know that there are people all over the world that teach for VIPKID. Finch, you look Benson. Nice. So right now we're talking about the coronavirus. Do you guys know about the coronavirus in England? or not in England, in China. Hopefully it's not in England. I was going to ask, is it in England? It looks like it's pretty serious, and it looks like they're taking care of it. It's a myth. Okay. Yeah. Well, I teach Chinese kids online, and I did see that. Is that you, Evan? Huh? You're not on YouTube, are you? No. Okay. My son he does YouTube, so. But I do teach. I saw one of my kids did have a medical mask on, and she was coughing. So, but I am also booked with her next week. I'm actually booked. I am booked with her, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 times next week. So that's pretty awesome. And she doesn't look like she's deathly ill, but she does have a cough. And the kids are nervous about, what's going on. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I was thinking too. That's true. One death is too many. Yeah. I mean, so many people are saying different things, and that's what I told my daughter. My daughter's 17, and I said, they're saying that people are dying, but we don't really know if, these are people that already have an illness and they're dying from, they got a cold and now they have an illness. We don't really know if they're, most likely they're not majorly, I'm looking at the chat box. I am Benson. Okay. I have no idea what you mean by that, but I have some good news to my teacher friends. I took the TESOL and I passed. And you guys want to see my, I can't show you my certificate. I'll have to open my background here. I got my certificate today. I'm so excited. So I got my certificate because, they are based out of, I believe it's the UK. So I got the TESOL certificate, and I'm excited because that means that I can apply at other companies if I want to. So I don't really want to right now because I'm already crazy. I'm already crazy busy, but it's a possibility, and it's also a good credential. I went ahead and added it to my credentials on VIPKID. What? Is that your name? Okay, thank you. I have moderators here, and so they help me by making sure everybody behaves on my live. Usually I don't have people surf into my lives. Usually it's just the people that I already know. But it is open to, I have 140 subscribers now, and I'm kind of hoping to get more subscribers. So I'm hoping to get more subscribers to my channel. Right now, I mostly do VIPKID teaching. And I have some more good news. I got another referral today. So she just signed up today, and she is on her way. She is right now for VIPKID. They have, I don't know if some of you have seen Teacher Tina's video about how to get into VIPKID now. You need to use my link and then you can do a smart demo, which you do it on your phone, which is kind of cool. So you do the smart demo, and that's like a 5-minute thing. No, 10 minutes, she said. Up to 10 minutes. And then you will hear back from VIPKID, and then you will do a mock class. And so she is in the process of, it's hard at the beginning when you don't know. Yeah, thank you, Giselle. So it's hard when you don't know, like you get so nervous at the beginning. VIPKID is a company that teaches Chinese children in China, and we teach them English. And usually kids in China have some exposure to English, but they would like to have native English speakers to teach their children so that they can get a better natural English speaking. They usually have English classes from other Chinese people, but they like to have people that can teach them as a Native American. Now, there are a lot of people like from Canada that also teach for VIPKID, and there are people, I believe, in order to teach for the company, you have to have proof that you can teach in the USA or Canada. So, yeah. So we teach. My friends that are on here, my moderator friends also teach for the company. So I got my TESOL certificate. I have a referral in the works. I'm just so thankful that she was willing to use my code. It is kind of hard right now because there are veteran referring teachers that are online, and they are really good at it. Like, they know what to do, they know what information to give you, and it's really awesome that they can do that. But they also do have videos for us to use. How do you donate? I don't have any place to donate to at this time. Are you guys all done?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Well, Lily needs to be.
Oh. So yeah, so I'm at the school and my kids, I guess they're done practicing. So I'm going to continue my discussion on my next video. So as you can see, I've gotten a good bit done. And if you would like to figure out how to, well, you don't really donate. We get paid by the company. They pay us and they put it into our bank account. So it's a job online. That's really cool. So if you are interested in learning how to do this, you could go and go back to the beginning of the video and I show you how to do it. You can get some cotton yarn and meet me in the next video and we'll see what we can do to help you out. All right. Well, thank you for watching. I will see you next time.